What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to do a quick little market update. What stocks am I currently trading and what stocks am I watching entering into the second week of September in 2018? And for those of you guys that are new viewers to my channel, my name is Stas and I make videos dealing with swing trading, day trading, long-term investing, and my personal philosophies and strategies when it comes down to investing and trading in the stock market. So if that's something that you're interested in, guys, if you want to learn more about the stock market, investing, and trading, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and join the two communities we have down below in the description box, both the Discord group chat as well as the Facebook group. We're very active in both of those communities, talking on a daily basis about stocks, investing, trading, and, networking with each other, bouncing ideas off of each other. So make sure you guys get into those two groups. So let's talk about a couple of stocks, guys. Nothing too crazy in this video, but before I do get into those stocks, let's take a quick look at the market as a whole. So the S&P 500 today down another $6.37. So what we were talking about in terms of the S&P yesterday is whether or not we're going to see the S&P 500 hold above this 50-day SMA indicator, which it's been able to bounce a couple of times at in the past, right? We see it here. We see a little dip below it here, but a bounce on the 180 SMA. We see a little bounce here, a bounce here. And, what we notice is a huge sell-off, not a huge sell-off, but a decent sell-off from 29.16 down to about where we are now at 28.71. And we're noticing that it's close to that 50-day SMA indicator. So what I'm going to be waiting for is to see whether or not the S&P is going to be able to bounce here and continue to push up, which will be great for stocks next week, or if it's going to break below here and, put us in a territory where we haven't been in a while. We haven't broke below the 50-day SMA in a couple of months. Pretty much the last time was in the middle of June, so about 3 months back, we broke below the 50-day SMA and pushed down, and that was a solid pullback in terms of this index. So let's look at the two other main indexes. The Dow Jones, this one was down about $79 today, about 0.3%. We're at $25,916.54 as of today, and this one's trading below the EMA line right now. So this one is kind of in an odd territory. And, if it's able to break below this support level here, I do see this one potentially pulling back down to this 50-day SMA indicator or maybe even below that. But I do expect it to continue to be going down because the markets have been in a funky place recently, guys. We're experiencing pullbacks in the big major indexes like the S&P 500 that we just saw. And, this one is slowly pulling back and we're trading below the EMA line right now. So, it's going to be continuing, in my personal opinion, to go down in price unless we're able to push back up and crack this EMA line either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or sometime next week. But, we've seen the Dow Jones Industrial. This one's been on an uptrending pattern over the past, couple of months, right? We noticed that here very, very clearly on this chart. And what we noticed the previous time we noticed a pullback, what we see is that it broke below the 50-day SMA briefly, a couple of days, right? That was a sizable pullback in terms of the Dow Jones. We can see that was about a 3% pullback, 2.5 to 3%. And, from the top here of about 26,100 down to where it's at right now, it only has fallen about 1%. So I do see potential in the Dow Jones potentially falling back down, maybe another $100, $200. But, I'm going to be keeping an eye on all these indexes, like I said. So, pretty much the two main ones are down a little bit. Right, the NASDAQ itself is trying to stay above this 180 SMA indicator, and it's down about $23 today. So all of these indexes are at key resistance points or key support points rather, right around their simple moving averages. So it's going to be a very interesting week next week to see what these indexes are going to do, because that's pretty much going to dictate where the market is pushing next week, right? And we obviously saw a bunch of sell-offs this week. Like I said, I don't really have to reiterate that a bunch, but we saw sell-offs in the stocks this week, guys. We saw a sell-off in Micron, we saw a sell-off in Apple, we saw a sell-off in Facebook. So these big names are seeing sell-off. So let's just talk about a couple of stocks that I'm currently trading. There's only just two that I'm currently trading right now. APTI is one of them, right? And I got into APTI at about $38.60, I believe my average position is, and I did not add any more money into APTI quite yet due to me wanting to see a confirmation of a bounce on this EMA line before I do add money into APTI. And a bunch of people were asking me, Stas, why do you like APTI? What is attractive to you about this stock? So we're going to talk about that a little bit here. And this potentially could be a runner due to there being a resistance point right where it's at right here. So what I'm waiting for in terms of APTI is to see whether it's going to break out of this resistance point at about $39 and reach for a new higher high, right? This is an interesting stock to keep an eye on, in my personal opinion, due to the uptrending pattern that has been on. It's been taking healthy corrections and pushing up to make higher highs, right? And we saw the little correction that it took here. It was able to bounce on this 50-day SMA indicator. It broke above the EMA, so I added a small initial position, like I said. So I'm going to be waiting on whether or not to see if it's able to break out of this 39 to 39.50 resistance point before adding more money. So I'm going to be watching APTI very closely for next week. Another one that one of my buddies from the Discord group chat shouted out was SAP, and I like SAP. For those of you guys that don't know or not familiar with this company, and based off this pattern, guys, that we see here, SAP is in a horizontal pattern. Let me draw this out for you guys very quickly. Let's see what it's looking like quickly, right? We notice that there's a clear support level right at about, actually no, that's a bad support level that I just drew there for you guys. This is the support level we want to keep an eye on, right? $112 is where we want to keep an eye on in terms of the support level, and we see a second support level here forming at about $115 where it was able to bounce in the past 1 to 2 trading days, right? But SAP, although it isn't a horizontal pattern, offering it about a nice 5% potential for profit up to about 122, which is the previous resistance point, it has not fully confirmed the uptrending pattern quite yet. Just because it's consolidating here for the past couple of days doesn't really mean anything, guys, in terms of an uptrend pattern until it is able to break above the EMA first, then the 180, then the 50-day SMA, guys. This is something that's very key in terms of us scaling into positions and adding more money as they go, right? As they continue to confirm the uptrending pattern. So, what I would do personally if I was trading SAP is I would wait for it to break above the EMA, then I would add an initial position, and, as it broke above the 180 SMA, I would then maybe add a little bit more money, and then as it even got up here to about 118, 119, breaking above the 50-day SMA, I would add another chunk of money into this. And that's pretty much what I've been doing as, swing trading these stocks that we're talking about in these videos. And I think this is a very nice setup in terms of the chart, in terms of the support resistance, and it's a very good stock to keep an eye on for this upcoming week. So great shout out, man. I forget your name. I talk to a bunch of people every single day, but you know who you are, who shouted out SAP. Thanks a lot, man. So I'm going to create an alert right here. Mark is at or above $117.50. Actually, yeah, let's just keep it there for now. Actually, no, I want to 117.25. That's a better spot for me because that's right where it's going to break above the EMA. Perfect. So that's what we're looking at in terms of SAP. Another one that somebody shouted out to me was WWE. So let's take a look at this one for you, my friend. Okay. World Wrestling Entertainment. We all know WWE. For those of you guys that do not know, it's just wrestling, fake wrestling kind of. It's a bunch of different kind of moves. It's kind of cool, entertaining. I used to watch it back in the day, not going to lie. But this stock, we noticed the insane amount of growth. And, you know, I forgot about WWE, actually. I remember them in the Yahoo Finance homepage a couple months back. You know, they had a killer earnings report, I believe. I think it was right here, and the stock soared from $40 up to $60. Yep, this was it right here. And, you know, they've had an insane year in terms of the share increase, right? In terms of the increase of their stock price. We went down from 30 bucks all the way up to about $90. So we see a 3x increase in terms of their stock. So, you know, now that we're looking at that and looking at the technical analysis here, we notice that we're pretty much at all-time highs in terms of this 180-day 4-hour chart. So this is not really too attractive to me in terms of swing trading because, again, I like getting in at dips and profiting on that like middle chunk between, you know, the dip buy, right, and the top resistance point. I like grabbing a little bit of that profit in between those 2 points, right? And, you know, this one doesn't really offer me that potential for profit because we're already at pretty much the resistance point at about $89, $90. I know we're trading a little bit above the EMA line right now at about $87 on this stock, but you know, $87 up to previous resistance points at about $89, that only really gives you 2%. And in my personal opinion, I can really find, you know, I think there's a bunch of other stocks out there that you can find that, you know, are better in terms of the technical analysis, better in terms of how much profit is available, right? And, you know, better buying opportunities, right? Because you wouldn't really want to buy this at the top, hoping that it's going to push up to make another, you know, all-time high. And, you know, let's say it did dip down here to about $78, $79, bounced here and started to curl back up and push. You know, that could be a good swing trade, right? But right now, like I said, guys, it's at an all-time high. So, you know, I wouldn't really touch that one in my personal opinion. So let's look at McDonald's, ticker symbol MCD. And, you know, this one, guys, I don't think I shouted it out or talked about it in yesterday's video, but this one is a very good performer over the past couple of weeks. And we can clearly tell that due to this uptrending pattern that it's currently on, and it's continuing to push up and to make higher highs. And what we notice here, guys, is that McDonald's is at a key resistance point at about $164. That's why it's been having a little bit of trouble getting above this point over the past 2 days, like we noticed there. But, you know, we see that resistance point right over here at about 164, where it got rejected and it pushed back down, you know, in the past, right? And, you know, what I'm going to be looking at in terms of McDonald's over the next week or two is whether or not it's going to break out of this, you know, of this support, or excuse me, this resistance point at 164, because at that point, guys, I do believe it has potential to run up to about 170 and above, because we already broke out of the wedge that we were looking at a couple of weeks back, 1 or 2, 3 weeks ago. We talked about McDonald's, you know, in a video, right? It was in this wedge where it was making lower highs and it was also making higher lows, which pushes it into a wedge, right? So we really were waiting to see on whether or not McDonald's is going to push out of the wedge, which is currently doing, which is a good sign, or if it was going to get rejected and go down and make a, you know, lower low, which is happily what did not happen, right? That did not happen. And we see there was a little bit of resistance here right at this wedge, right at this wedge, but then it bounced and popped, right? So that's a very good sign that McDonald's is pushing up. And again, I want to see if it's going to break out of this 164 resistance level, and I'm going to set an alert for 164. 164.5 is at or above 164.5. Okay. Perfect. So let's see, you know, I'm going to be really curious to see whether or not that's going to be able to push out. Another one, I'm just going to finish the video after this one, guys. There wasn't too much movement for me today in the stock market, but I really wanted to cover these couple of stocks, SAP, you know, DGAS especially, which is what we're going to end the video off with. And, you know, the other one that we talked about in terms of API, APTI, and WWE. So, you know, let's end off the video with DGAS. And DGAS is an inverse ETF. Its inverse is UGAS, and these two trade based upon /NG, known as the natural gas future. And whenever this natural gas future is going down in price, DGAS is going up in price. So what we notice here with the natural gas, guys, the natural gas future, is that it was consolidating on the 180 SMA, got rejected by the 50-day SMA, hard rejection there, and pretty much it's been downtrending in price ever since that rejection by the 50-day SMA. So, you know, what we're going to be looking at this week in terms of natural gas is whether or not it's going to break below this key support level that I just drew for you guys right there. Do you guys see this right here? We see a key support level for natural gas is at about $2.75, and the previous one is at about $2.70. So if we're able to break below $2.75 trading on Monday or Tuesday, I do believe DGas has potential, right? It has potential to shoot up from $25 up to maybe $26, $26.50, even $27 if we're able to break below the $2.70 support level, which is the one right below the $2.75. So, you know, natural gas, guys, it's been downtrending, so DGas has been an absolutely wonderful swing trade play over the past week. So, you know, shouts out to all you guys that have been able to trade DGas. You're doing very well on your positions, right? And, you know, I do see some more potential in it, again, if natural gas is able to break below $2.75 and then again at $2.70. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter if you guys wish. And, you know, those links are down below in the description box, as well as the 2 groups that you should join if you like my content, like my channel. We're talking about stocks, entrepreneurship, investing, trading. That's the Discord and that's the Facebook. Both of those are linked, again, down below in my description. So I hope you guys, again, found value in this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.